Parker Skelly has a late help coming. Manson to the left side. A shot shouldered away by Volstead. Big save there. Kaprizov to the rebound. Chips it along. A 2-on-1 maybe with Boldy. Kaprizov in left circle. Has a lane. Cross ice. And Boldy couldn't connect. It's sprung ahead by Colorado. No icing. Natchez to it around the net. Martin Natchez shakes free. Found a man. And they score. Brett Kulak wins it. Series over. And season over for Minnesota. As the Avs storm back in Game 5 and get the final 4 goals. Kulak, a one-time blast. And Colorado wins 4-3, 3:52 into the extra set.
Sad Joe O'Donnell, radio voice, Minnesota Wild. Sad Joe. Kevin Gorg at Gorgamatic 21 joins us now in studio. Thanks for helping. Buzzkill Central last night, I would imagine. Buzzkill Central, right? Second round this time.
Yeah.
4 games for the Avs, 1 for us, and good morning.
Good morning, PA. Really cool to hear Joe's call, though. I love the work he does. He's so good at his craft, and obviously one of my dear friends with the traveling party.
He's budsy.
He is a little budsy, and, it's always tough when it comes to an end. I feel different about this edition of the Wild, and we'll get there, but remarkable season, giant step forward, certainly is still going to be a cup contender in the next 4 or 5 years, but just the way this series ended, to have a Game 5 where you have a 3-0 lead, 3-1 lead going to the third period and see it slip away in heartbreaking fashion, that makes it sting just a little bit more.
Pimlico.
Well, actually, Laurel Park this year.
Oh, it's Laurel.
Because they're in the middle of a rebuild.
Let me get this straight.
Pimlico renovation, right?
Yeah.
Let me get this straight. The Derby winner is not running in the Preakness.
Second straight year.
Which isn't load 'em up, let 'em rip, race 13 at the Lick. It's actually at Laurel.
Yep.
Before a Belmont that's at 1.25 miles.
At Saratoga. and people are like caught up in, we have to keep the tradition. We have to run 2 weeks after the Derby with the Preakness and then 3 with the Belmont. That all needs to go away. And I think
I'm
we're
glad
getting
you said
there.
That.
It does.
Okay, now, whether it's Pollock Report, whether it's nationwide horse racing steam, you're on top of it, bro. I mean, you follow that stuff closely. So if this is a regurgitated, oversaturated talker in the world of national horse racing, I apologize. I'm glad you brought that up, because I don't understand if you're losing Derby winners for leg 2, trying to chase a Triple Crown, then why isn't horse racing changing when leg 2 is? Would 3 weeks be enough, or would it need to be a month?
The best template I can bring to the table that I've heard that's actually out there and people are considering is first Saturday in May Derby, which stays with that tradition.
Yeah, that can't change.
First Saturday in June. Here comes the Preakness.
Load 'em up, let 'em rip, race 13 at the Lick.
First Saturday in July, right before Belmont closes and they go to Saratoga, the Belmont. There you go.
And
it works.
Do you believe that would lure like Nordo was talking to me earlier about a potential guest tomorrow. Somebody who comes on for the Derby every single year, wrote for the Philly Daily News for many years. His name's Dick Girardi.
Oh, yeah, I know who Dick is, yeah.
Yeah, enjoyable horse racing guest. And Nordo's like, it's the Preakness, no Golden Tempo. What do you want to do here? Blah, blah, blah. Well, that's very, very, very casual horse racing guy, but very casual horse racing individual, period. They all know what the Kentucky Derby is. They all know that the Kentucky Derby is a legitimate national, if not worldwide, sporting event.
For sure.
Well, so is the Preakness when the Derby winner's running in it. I'd say 60% of the casuals will morph at least to watch to see what the Derby winner does.
Completely.
You lose the Derby winner in the Preakness, you might as well run that thing at 7:20 on a Thursday night at Canterbury.
I'm with you. It has no national steam whatsoever. And for all of us hardcore horse racing handicappers, when you look at this edition of the Preakness, it looks like a glorified small stakes race that isn't graded. You've got a maiden that's 0 for 7, that ran a great race, ran third in the Derby, likely going to go off as one of the favorites in a Grade 1 Triple Crown race. I mean, give me a break.
Are you kidding me?
Horse racing's got to look at this, PA, because the modern day thoroughbred does not race on 2 weeks, period. And
well, especially when you're paying $750,000 for them.
Correct. And so I think they'll adjust. I hope they get it done sooner.
Ocelli.
Yeah, Ocelli ran a great race in Kentucky.
Yeah, the one who
wasn't that third place.
Yeah,
it was third place.
70 million to 1
shot.
Yeah,
yeah.
But here's what's crazy again.
And after putting through the wickets, a dime and change over a day and change, decided to save $36.
Didn't want to bring it up.
And just took Ocelli and the other stupid 20 out. And if I just leave them in and spend an extra $36,
it's the third place.
$5,600.
Yeah, everyone else was boxed.
He's poking bears. He poked Joe yesterday about Philly fans.
I heard that. I was listening. It got uncomfortable.
He boxed everybody.
Joe was so angry.
Joe might have known a funeral for a friend was coming.
Right.
Our sports friends.
Oh, man.
Well, here's super casual horse racing Rube question.
Ocelli.
So Ocelli is 70 and change, whatever it closed at, into the Derby.
Mm-hmm.
Into the Preakness, he's 6-1.
Morning line 6-1.
He might be second or third favorite in the race, morning line.
Mm-hmm.
Does that speak to what he did at Churchill, or does that speak to the step down in class of horse racing competition at the Preakness?
That's an elite Canterbury College question.
The reason he's going to be 5 or 6-1 is the Derby third place finish gave him a buyer speed figure that's one of the top figures in this race. And in this field, you have 3 horses out of the Kentucky Derby. None really were competitive other than him. And then you've got a bunch of horses that are really unproven commodities here that were getting beat soundly in the Derby prep races that couldn't sniff the gate in Kentucky. So he legitimately can win this race. The problem you're going to run into is he's a maiden who's never won a race, trying to beat a field of 14 horses in a Grade 1 race where you kind of feel like one of those other horses probably still has better credentials, even though they didn't run in that race on the first Saturday in May.
Okay. This Ocelli.
It's a great betting race this is, by the way.
This Ocelli, the one who just ran third in the Derby at 70.5 to 1, 70.50 to 1, 0 for 7 lifetime, a second and 4 fourths. But because he ran third in the Kentucky Derby and third in the Wood Memorial, this horse never has won, might be favored, and has made nearly $700,000.
Think about that.
And by the way, they paid $12,000 for him as a 2-year-old at the Fasig-Tipton sale. So
how much did 80's Challenge make?
$750,000.
Yeah.
And that one cost $20,000. The
number's in the rough with this thing.
Number 2 in the Preakness in October of 2024 was sold for $12,000.
Unbelievable.
At the Fasig-Tipton, Kentucky sale. And now here we are in 2026. So he runs a little bit as a 2-year-old, makes $23,000. So he averages about $11,500 in 2 races in 2025. 2 to 3 angle, copyright the Litza, becomes he now has made almost $700,000 and never has won a race. And the people who bought him only paid $12,000. It costs about $20,000 to get a horse from the sale up to the races.
Yeah.
20 and change, 20 and small change, break the horse, traveling, train the horse, the whole thing, bets, all that. So they basically were in for $32,000. Let's say $35,000 on the high end. This horse runs third in his debut at Churchill Downs, gets himself the owner's $12,300. Then he runs second in a $55,000 maiden race. So he gets $11,000 for finishing second.
Nice.
They're out in 2 races. Horse hasn't won, runs third in the Derby, might win the Preakness and bolster the earnings close to $2 million.
And if he's still a colt.
And I'm getting squeezed in a coffee line, but anyway.
But if he's a colt, you've got the breeding.
He's a colt.
The breeding end of it. He's already Grade 1 Triple Crown Stakes placed.
Wow.
If he wins on Saturday, now you're talking tens of $millions in the breed shed. So they made and again, Nordo's right. It's a needle in the haystack.
He's going to be covering 5 mares a week.
I tell you what, big opportunity on Saturday. For the folks that like to throw a couple bucks on a horse race, this isn't the greatest group of horses I've seen in a Triple Crown race. But when you get 14 horses and the morning line favorite is 9-2, which is basically a $20 win bet gets you $110. This is an unbelievable wagering opportunity, and I will be partaking from distance because I'll be down in Eau Claire at my youngest daughter Annika's college graduation. But the Preakness will be on post-grad ceremony, let's just say.
The Preakness, 6 o'clock Central.
Perfect.
Saturday. Canterbury Park and live racing opens a week from Saturday, 5 o'clock for first race time in Shakopee at Canterbury. And with this one, you of course watch a wager on it, be a part of Preakness history.
Come out to Shakopee and take it all in, man.
Yep. The day before, the Black Eyed Susan Day is good.
Always.
I haven't looked at it yet. Have you?
Yeah, good card. They got a bunch of stakes races on Friday out there at Laurel, and then Saturday is a big party. You can get out there early, and I think if you get out there, the gates open at 9:30 at Canterbury. You can wager literally all morning, all afternoon, into the evening. It's going to be great fun, and that leads us into.
So you got this whole thing capped up, don't you? The Preakness.
I got the Preakness covered top to bottom.
So Taj Mahal, number 1. Our Brittany, is it Sheldon Russell?
Sheldon's her husband.
Okay.
And Brittany would be the first female trainer to win the Preakness. We've seen Antonucci won the Belmont. This year, of course, Cherie DeVoe wins the Derby. This would be the quasi-female Triple Crown.
Wow.
If she can win this race. And this horse
is
legitimately
Golden Tempo running in the Belmont?
Oh, of course. The Belmont's going to be loaded.
So it can go Philly, DeVoe again.
It could. And this horse can absolutely win. This horse is undefeated. Won the prep race for the Preakness and the Tessio. Did so by double-digit lengths. The interesting part of this 14-horse field is like 10 of them want the lead. I was in love with a horse named Napoleon Solo, who I still am giving a long look to in this race. He's the 10 horse. He's 8-1. He's going to be the speed of the speed, but will he ever get a breather? I think 6, 7, 8 horses could bunch up, which makes this race similar to the Derby. I went back and watched the Derby again this morning. The numbers don't do it justice. You had 8 horses up there battling on the front end. The race completely collapsed. The horses from the back had the pace advantage. I don't see this race being that much different. The horses that can stay off the pace will have the advantage when they turn for home. And by the way, that Maiden Ocelli is a closer. The other horse I really like in this race is the 12-horse Incredible, who ran a nondescript 6th in the Derby, beaten 4 lengths. If you watch the replay, it doesn't get you super excited.
Altered, bumped, kept on.
Got hurted a little bit by Irad and Renegade mid-stretch. But to me, the real story is this horse was on the front side of the back vanguard. He was much closer to that early pace, so he didn't have the advantage that the horses that ran 1, 2, and 3 had because they came from way, way back. He was chasing the speed more mid-pack, and that's why I think that pace advantage will give him a really strong look. The 12 Incredible at around 5 or 6 to 1 on Saturday.
What about
Corona de Oro at 30 to 1?
There's a couple bombers in here.
Just trying to brush up on my Spanish before next November.
I do like that.
No, I'm not mad at that. You know why? Because the horse raced, broke his maiden at the fairgrounds, did so super impressively, then stepped up to a grade 3 in the Lexington, so first race against winners, and fought almost until the end, and then lost by 3 lengths, needed that race against that company. This sucker's going to be 30 to 1 or higher, and if that fairground circuit stays hot the way it did around the Derby, this horse has a chip chair and chance to hit the ticket.
We'll all be wearing gold crowns on Monday. Let's go.
How about the 5 talking? You're an Irad Ortiz apologist. Great ride, by the way, on Renegade in the Derby. Nearly won that race. He gets on a horse that's 20 to 1 for Danny Gargan, who, by the way, has won a Triple Crown race. You get Irad. You get a horse that's good enough on paper to contend. Now, the 20 to 1 morning line to me might be a pipe dream, but comes out of the Bluegrass, which is one of the top prep races for the Kentucky Derby, has that additional rest against some of the horses that ran just 2 weeks ago. You get Ortiz for Gargan at 20 to 1. If you're going to build a trifecta or superfecta, do not leave the 5 talking off your tickets.
What about 6 Chip Honcho? Jose Ortiz, don't you forget about me. Jose Ortiz rides that one.
How hot is he right now?
Well, the trainer, Steve Asmussen, nationally recognized, wins a lot of races, a lot of money. And this one, comes out of the Louisiana Derby, where he was the second favorite. Golden Tempo ran third, won the Derby.
There you go.
I mean,
this is a fascinating handicapping puzzle.
This race is terrific.
If you come to Canterbury this weekend, please build trifectas, build superfectas, bet some exactas. A weirdo's going to get in this thing. I'm telling you right now, a weirdo's going to be in the trifecta, and it's going to pay a boatload. This is the kind of race where strange things happen. No one is really proven in this horse race. So even though it's not going to go down in history as one of the great Triple Crown races, it's one of the great betting opportunities for sure.
Well, my question, so two things. With Golden Tempo, is this, you said it's 2 years in a row, but coming back for the Belmont, why skip? Is the Triple Crown losing its luster? Is this about the health of the horse? Do they not think Golden Tempo is a true Triple Crown class horse? It's just kind of odd to me that they'd skip that, but you were mentioning it's going to be loaded and everybody's back for the Belmont.
Well, the horses that are high end in our game now race about once every 4 or 5 weeks. And so for a horse like that was lightly raced, they've been on a running pattern where he'd run a race, waited 4 or 5 weeks, run another race, and stayed in good form. To come back in 2 weeks, and again, the trainer is there in the barn every day, sees the racehorse, how they respond.
So they know what they got.
First time, mile and a quarter. It was a physical finish. If you watch that race, those horses were leaning on each other. The trainer knows. I mean, she's an expert trainer. And if you don't have a horse that you think can come back and do it again, you're going to wait for the Belmont. The other factor is she's based a lot of her horses in New York at Saratoga. That horse has been there and done that, and so now you get an extra couple weeks of rest. It's still a prestigious race. It happened last year with Sovereignty, where he won the Derby. Bill Mott didn't think he came back quick enough out of that race to run in the Preakness. They come back, and they win the Belmont, so Cherie DeVaux's got the exact same plan in mind.
Would Jose automatically ride Golden Tempo?
100%.
Okay, so...
And he'll ride the horse in the Belmont.
So Triple Crowns matter to the jockeys, right? Because in the Preakness here, you mentioned Jose's on Chip Honcho. Like, that's still a massive, that's pretty impressive if Jose handles business at Churchill with one horse, Preakness with another, comes back and says, eat it, fellas, and Irad, probably finishing second again. That's pretty impressive feat for a jockey. Two different horses running the Triple Crown, plus the Oaks.
How about the pocketbook? It's probably over $1 million in his back pocket, too, so let's not forget about that.
Well, this is a $2 million race, which means the winning owners will get $1.2 million for winning this race. They subsequently will then give 10% to the jockey and trainer. That's how the game works. So the winning jockey in this race gets $120,000.
That's on the light side, especially if it's Jose Ortiz. The Derby was a $5 million race, so he's already way ahead of the game. And he's one of the elite riders on the planet. His pocketbook's already pretty thick, if you know what I mean. Like
$120,000 on the light side, though.
Probably getting closer to 200, right? He is. And
you're right.
And so he's got a shot here. I don't like the horse as much as I like a couple others. But the way that Jose Ortiz is riding right now, it isn't just the Derby. If you were watching big races leading into the Kentucky Derby, this guy's been straight fire for the last 6 weeks.
Jockeys are athletes, okay? Because what goes into the timing, the restraining of the horse, the clock in the head, knowing when to move. You're on a 1,200-pound beast with tiny ankles in tight quarters with people cutting in front of you. So the fear factor has to be completely eliminated. And why I bring that up is because, when people will talk to me at Canterbury in the paddock or whatever, maybe you too, about what's a jockey make? What do the top jockeys make? And I don't know exactly what it is, but when I tell them, well, let's say Irad Ortiz Jr., okay, the one considered maybe the best or most profitable rider in horse racing.
Fair.
He'll make 10 to 13 million a year, something like that. People are like, what?
Of course.
10 to 13 million for riding horses? Yeah. Okay, well, like the top jockey at Canterbury in the past, maybe now, they, from, let's say, middle-ish May or whenever we begin to middle-ish September, the leading rider at Canterbury will probably leave making what, 200 to 300 grand?
Yeah.
Something like that, maybe 350.
Great living.
Yeah.
That's dangerous living, remember. And I love when we do seminars out of Canterbury and jockeys are a part of it, I always remind our fans, it's one of the only jobs I know where when they come to work, there's an ambulance that follows them while they're doing their job. Like, it's a super dangerous job.
That's a brilliant way to look at it.
An amazing skill set. Keep yourself in remarkable shape. And
Worst
do
case,
so
know how to fall. Worst case, know how to fall.
And not get trampled. I mean, honestly, it's the facts of the job are it's crazy what good athletes these men and women are.
Sadly, one of our sports friends was taken away in a metaphorical ambulance last evening, and we will get into that with Kevin Gorg, beloved KG at Gorgamatic 21, analyst at Canterbury Park, CanterburyPark.com to learn more about opening day, a week from Saturday. We can't wait for it, and we're excited to see you out there. To come to Canterbury to win trifectas and superfectas and exactas and win plays, you need money. So let's give some away right now.
Yeah, the fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a shot to win some bonus bucks, national cash contest style. This hour's keyword is grand. You might win with the keyword grand if you enter it now at KFAN.com.
This is 9 to noon on the Fan.
Hey, PA, just got to hit you with a little optimism after being just totally speechless about last night. But hey, these heartbreaks are going to make it all the sweeter when it happens.
Thank you.
And when it does, man, we're going to have the biggest party in the history of sports. Love you guys.
Love you. What's happening there is, I was just, first couple of segments of the radio show, I was just a little frustrated, and that's very kind, what was left via the talkback machine. And you know, whether it's Twitter or 64686 with the emails, people will reach out with kindness, because when I sound like I'm overly negative, well, people just don't know how to handle it. It's kind of like when Barrero gives a compliment.
Thank you.
People just have no idea what to do or how to handle themselves.
That's fair.
So thus the tone of that talkback. Kevin Gorg is here. Why do you believe a cup run is coming?
I think Stanley Cups find superstar players, and I think when you have a roster that has a Kirill Kaprizov, a Matt Boldy, a Quinn Hughes, a Brock Faber, and maybe now we're watching a young superstar in between the pipes come of age in Jesper Wallstedt. The core that they have that are either in their prime right now, like Hughes and Kaprizov are, or climbing to their prime, like the other three, that's where Stanley Cups end up. And I truly believe this series easily could have gone 6 or 7. I think Minnesota left some chips on the table. I still think Colorado probably would have won this series. They are the best team in the league, and if you don't have an Ekin or Brodin, I don't think this team probably is able to beat this team in 6 or 7, but it probably shouldn't have been done in 5. And that's the part that's going to linger, I think, for everybody into the summer is it was just a little bit too quick of a run between Game 1 and Game 5. I think they let a couple of games get away, especially in Game 5, and that part is frustrating.
The Hartman icing late worked on the nerves of many. What happened?
Well, fatigue happened, and this is where the second period comes into play. And having played and coached the game at a much different level, all these shifts matter. You tell your team, like, if you're going to go out there in the second period with the long change, take a penalty, get stuck in your zone for 17 of those 20 minutes, you can still survive that period with an excellent goaltender and maybe some fortunate breaks, and you're still up 3-1 in the hockey game, and you may come out in the third period and play a very structured, a very disciplined, smart period to give yourself a chance to win. But if your key players spent all that time defending in the second period and they're tired in the third period, what looks like a simple play, Nick Foligno blocks the puck's in the neutral zone, Ryan Hartman, a veteran playoff type of performer, has the puck 2 or 3 strides away from the center ice line where you can dump the puck in and get fresh troops, but you're fatigued and gassed from all the energy you've expended in this game defending. You don't get to the red line and you ice the puck. Teams like Colorado, PA, elite teams, will take advantage of those mistakes. Now you're tired. Now you're on the ice. Defensive zone faceoff. You lose it clean. It's in the back of the net. And when it goes 3-2, and you've got McKinnon and the boys waiting for the final 3.5 minutes, and that crowd is blowing up in Ball Arena, you have a problem, and it's going to come down to a play, and that play, unfortunately, is the puck on Nathan McKinnon's stick, making an incredible shot, and once it gets to overtime, now you're really in trouble.
I officially am ruling off X for a remainder of the day, because I just saw more NFL schedule leaks. Okay, and this one, The Denver Broncos
Yes.
begin at Seattle, at Rams, at New England, at Dallas,
That's
at Houston.
so not true.
First 5-game road trip in the history of the and the Dallas game's in Barcelona. The New England game is in Australia.
As long as we
And
have
that's your
Bo
favorite
Nix
team.
healthy. Mm-hmm. And I go back to last year. The Broncos punched their ticket. I've been waiting for the last handful of years for them to be relevant again. Mm-hmm. They're in the AFC Championship. I'm watching my team celebrate on the field. I look at my phone, and there it is on X, Bo Nix out for the AFC Championship. I'm like, this is a bit, but it's
Schefter.
You
were in Buffalo, right?
I was on the road somewhere, some hotel somewhere.
No, Toronto, because it was the first time I saw Husey in our colors. We had just traded. I missed the first couple of games, and I'm like, I'm not pretending I'm up at 9:45 on a weekday night with the NHL Center Ice package watching Husey. Okay, I know who he is, and I've heard he's good. But that Buffalo matinee that I watched him, I mean, I couldn't stop watching. I was like so mesmerized. That's where you were.
And that's what gives me hope. And this morning, I think a lot of us woke up bummed out, right? It was just such a devastating loss last night. But I look at teams that make cup runs. They eventually get there. And I watched the dynasties that were the Islanders and the Oilers and to a degree the Blackhawks and the Penguins. There has to be heartbreak first. And this group won a playoff series against an excellent Dallas team. They got caught in the crossfire against the best team in the league, missing some key pieces. No excuses. They could have won a couple more games here. They could have pushed the series back to St. Paul. No excuse. But the bottom line is this core is clearly good enough to compete with anybody. And so looking forward to what lies ahead, I'm pumped. Like the Jesper Wallstedt thing has me thinking like this thing is legit and it's on. Like I really believe that.
Yeah, I feel bad for Wally.
Well, last night, 2 deflections, a perfect shot by McKinnon and a no chance goal in overtime. This kid gave Minnesota every single chance. He had one bad game the entire playoffs. One bad game where he didn't give you a chance to win. And he's a rookie who had never done this before. You moved up in the draft to pick him 20th overall for a reason. You found something here. He's special. Now the question is, what does Billy Guerin do? You've got 2, and maybe you want to play 2, and that's cool. Gus has a no-trade move. You got 2 more years to deal with that. Gus is still a really good goalie. So you've got options right now. Minnesota has to get better at the center position, and they've got to get better on the back end, on the bottom side with their defensemen. And the Brodin injury kind of showed that, right? Like, you can hide anybody with your third pair, but if you've got big, rugged, physical defensemen playing top 4 minutes against a team like the Avalanche,
like Midzi,
with that speed, and I don't blame Jake Middleton. That to me is a roster that can't defend some of those speedy high-end players. Nietzsche's is elite. McKinnon's elite. These are the fastest players on the planet. And so if you can get a little deeper back there, find a frontline center. These are the challenges for Bill Guerin. But I don't think Quinn Hughes is going anywhere. Like watching him mesh in with this hockey team, how much he's enjoying himself. We got something here. It's a good team. It's a quality team. And there's a window here of 4 or 5 years where they're going to be in the top 3 or 4 in the league every single year, and I'm here for it.
And I think Wallstedt's going to be a significant piece of that. What a revelation, truly, that he has been. However, I know you're an elite goaltending mind, and I just needed to hit you with this. On that McKinnon goal, my sources indicate instead of reverse VH, he's got to be on his feet, Gorgie. Well, he's got to be on his feet. The reverse VH, 6-on-5, his responsibility being the shoulder. Vertical horizontal.
Thank you.
Listen, here's the deal. Stalock's feeding you stuff. That's cool. That's great. But here's the deal. You've got a player in the blue paint right in front of you. You got a player on the weak side post. 99 out of 100 players in this league are going to shoot low to the far side of the net to either beat you there or get a rebound for the 2 Avalanche players that are in position to cash in on that rebound. And if you're Wallstedt and you're the big frame that you are at 6'4", you're going to go down in that position, daring him to make the shot that he made. Now, he had a 2 or 3 inch window there. If he misses the net, if that shot is legitimately 3 inches higher, because the Avalanche had kind of shrunk the zone with the 6-on-5.
Spins around.
That puck's out of the zone, and now they're regrouping with 35, 40 seconds to go to try to get another good look at the net. He dared him to do it.
East-West VH, and they're dead.
And he made the shot. It was an incredible incredible shot.
All jokes aside, though, Gorg, because you're dead on, and I'm giving you crap about the reverse VH. I had never heard of that until about 4 hours ago. But all the same, the nature of that moment, do we need to pressure McKinnon? Because that's one thing, again, as an outsider, I'm asking these questions as a rube, not even scathing.
Well, think about it this way,
Best
Nordo.
player in the league
Good
with
question.
even a half second to collect his thoughts, that's like a freaking hour to line that thing up.
Pick your poison. This is no different than a penalty kill. When you're shorthanded, they have an extra body. At some point, they're going to get a look. Do you want that shot from 30, 40 feet, or do you want that shot around the blue paint? You have to make that call, because as soon as one of those lower players releases to McKinnon, now he's got the tip in play that beat Volstead for 2 of the first goals in the hockey game. So you've got to kind of be careful. I really don't mind that shot. Like, if I'm down a man, I'm going to trust that shot's not going in. He made a remarkable shot with a minute and change to go that not many can make. And again, I don't mind my goalie facing that shot. It beat him, and it beat him clean.
Does Kirill Kaprizov impact games the way Nathan McKinnon does? And is it even fair, including 97, in expectation-related chats with 29?
Different types of players. McKinnon's a little quicker. Kirill's a little more of a player that likes to play east-west. That's why he and Zuccarello are just so remarkable together. McKinnon, to me, is in the conversation for the best player in the world. And I think because Kirill got that contract and signed for $17 million, everybody thinks that every night this guy's going to go out there and score, a couple of goals and have 3 assists. It doesn't work that way. And so people are saying he was a no-show the last couple of games. I disagree. He was a driver, in my opinion, in Game 4, one of the few players that actually showed up and really put the Colorado Avalanche on their heels. He took them into situations where they had to really spend time working on him. With Kirill, he's never going to be the same player as a McKinnon or a McDavid because of the elite. And I mean, they're the 2 best in the world in transition with the speed. But what Kirill can do, the way he can shoot the puck, the way he can pound it physically down low, the way he can move the puck east and west with guys like Boldy and Zuccarello. Now, he got burned on that, but remember, players like Kaprizov, when they're given a chance, are going to try to make the perfect pass to set their teammate up for an open net. If that pass is on Boldy's tape, it's a different result. Unfortunately, he didn't shoot the puck. He's never scoring on that shot. He had no angle to the net. It's a shot, and you're going to put Colorado back on their heels. And unfortunately, it's the absolute worst thing that could have happened. That pass gets broken up. He and Boldy get trapped in. Avalanche have numbers, and with those numbers, they make the play that wins the game.
See, I think he slows down there, Gorgie, a little bit through the neutral zone. It's almost as if I don't think Kirill ever intended to try for that angle. I think that's what kind of gets me going. Like, I love 97. This isn't even really an indictment of him overall. Love having him on the team. But just watching that about 5-6 times last night, it's like he slowed down and maybe took away the opportunity to even get that angle to make that shot. I was frustrated in that moment.
Is it fair to call this most recent Wild team, in closing, the most talented in the history of the organization, and as opposed to the best? And because if it truly is the best team in the history of the organization, that makes it the most underachieving team in the history of the organization. Here's what I'm getting at. The 02-03 team, it has to be considered the best in the history of the organization because of how far it went.
100%.
You see what I'm saying?
You can't argue it.
Right. But like that team also had a $19 million payroll, which was lowest in the NHL. So, I mean, you can have shiny toy du jour here, there, and everywhere, and dipsy doodle, and spin, and speed, and east, west, and VH. You could have all of that. But what those guys had is hard to attain. The inside of you and the desire to not be denied. Know what I mean?
They came back from 3-1 down twice. They beat 2 of the best teams on the planet at that time, including
Avs had 4 Hall of Famers on that team.
Sakic, you can't argue what they did.
Blake, and Waugh.
They had unbelievable chemistry. They were extremely disciplined, well coached. But here's the difference. Let's let this group finish their run. You knew in 02 and 03 that was probably it. They had one superstar, and that was Gaborik.
Good point.
They didn't have the depth around him. It was not sustainable.
Yep.
this group, I referenced the 5 superstars. There are other great players on this roster. This team legitimately has a 4 or 5 year window where they're going to be one of the 3 or 4 best teams in the league. We've never, ever had that. So, yes, you can't argue. The 02-03 team is the best team that we've had because they've gone the furthest. I'll put my money on this group at some point going further.
5 seconds, you get it all. Who wins the Preakness?
I've got the 12-horse winning Incredible from off the pace.
Yep.
Out of the Kentucky Derby into the Preakness winner's circle, and I think spread, exactus, trifectas, superfectas. There's going to be some long shots in the mix.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you, PA.
Kevin Gorg at Gorgamatic 2-1. Back after this. Tonight at 7 o'clock on KFAN, all KFAN social channels. Yours truly, Pete Bursich and Ben Lieber, your broadcasting team. We will be part of a Vikings schedule release show. We, outside of the Mexico City game, I at least don't know where any of the games are falling. So that makes me, and I assume us, pretty much like you, where it's just different this year with obligations, responsibilities, and like schedule access and stuff. So we're going to be intentional, Pete, Ben, and yours truly, to avoid leaks so that at 7 o'clock tonight on KFAN and all of our social channels, when the games fall, like week 1, this, week 2, that, Ben, Pete, and I will be seeing it for the very first time, just like you. So tune in at 7 o'clock tonight and via at KFAN 1003. I'm sure you can get information. We'll be tweeting about it during the course of the day.
Yeah, and big thanks to everybody for the talkbacks today. In some ways, we were born to grieve after the Minnesota Wild lost last night, but PA, there's one more team in the postseason. Get ready to howl because it will be a Friday.
I'm ready.
It will be a Friday feast tomorrow. It is bright lights. It is Target Center. It's Game 6 and turnovers this and Rudy unproductivity this. And my goodness, what is Julius Randle doing? An extra day of rest for Anthony Edwards on a Friday night at Target Center will be the difference as the Wolves extend the series to 7. Pumped to talk about it tomorrow.
And if the Wolves happen to lose and it's another funeral for a sports friend, that's fine. We're trading for Giannis during the offseason.
In your face, Milwaukee!
To handle Wemby. For Nordo, I'm Paul Allen. May God bless you and all of your families. Thank you for listening to 9 to Noon at FM 100.3 KFAN.
If it's good news or money, leave a message.
Podcast today's Paul Allen Show or listen back to previous show and interviews by going to the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.
From the 1-800-ASK-GARY Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by Gen.